I'm Kennedy Levins. I'm the director of Awamaki US, which is a US nonprofit organization with 501c3 status. And we work to promote community development in the district of Ollantaytambo, which includes the town of Ollantaytambo and a number of very small rural communities. One of the main programs that we run is the volunteer program, where we place volunteers in with local organizations. Awamaki Textile Project, which is a Peruvian NGO, works with 30 indigenous women from the community of Paracancha, which is a rural indigenous Quechua community in the Paracancha Valley, and it's about an hour outside of Ollantaytambo. So it's one of the bigger Quechua communities in the Paracancha Valley, but very remote, very isolated, and fairly impoverished. We work with 30 women who are selected by the community on the basis of need and other considerations. By selling their textiles, they can make a living and support their families by doing something that does not mean that they need to leave their communities. This is a way for women to enter into the cash economy without actually having to leave their way of life, which is what's happening. What we try to do is not only sell their textiles and provide them with an income, but improve their skills and help try to recuperate the textile tradition, which is fairly endangered. And so recuperating the textile tradition means we run natural dyes workshops. We run some alpaca training. We insist on the use of all natural materials, hand-spun, naturally dyed, and woven on the traditional backstrap loom for all of our weavings. The sewing workshops that we do, those are skills that even if they leave the group, they can take those with them. Or even if their daughters or sisters don't enter the group, they can teach those to them.
A lot of our patients actually come from neighboring communities that are at higher altitudes. People come in, we have to find their medical histories, and then depending on what they're there for, you have to weigh and measure the babies, you have to take, for the adults, blood pressure, take temperatures, and then you have to make sure that they get to where they're going within the center. In addition to which, there's a lot of room for volunteers who show a bit more initiative if they want to take part, particularly if you're interested in medicine. All the nurses and the doctors have been really great about allowing me to shadow them, for instance. So I've gotten to do a lot of physical exams, again, mostly on children and babies. I've done basic curative cares, what they call curaciones, which is when people come in and they need to have their wounds cleaned and bandaged up. And, sutures are very popular as well. We do a lot of vaccinations, and most antibiotics that are prescribed here are injected, and so you have an awful lot of opportunities to do that as well.
Okay, perfecto.
¿Cómo estás?
Tienes con todo lo que es. How are you?
¿Dónde son sus colores?
Oh, aquí.
We find that the homestays is a great way for the volunteers really to get to know the community that they're staying in, and to really get to know Peruvian life and Andean life and its richness of festivals and delicious food and the really strong family life. The families that we work for are great. They all are very excited always about hosting volunteers. They're wonderful families. They cook amazing food. The volunteer program for them is a huge help economically. The relationships that come out of these homestays are really strong and tend to be very lasting. And the volunteer is welcomed as part of the family. That's something that's really important to us, and that we work really hard with our families to make sure that they know that this is not a tourist staying in your house. This is a cousin who's come from Cusco, say, and they're going to help with the dishes, and they're going to help the kids with their homework, and they're going to learn how to cook rocoto relleno, and they're going to go with you to the festival, and they're going to go with you to the market. The homestay program is one of my favorite parts of the volunteer program.